What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we'll be continuing the scenario into the Android saga, both in the future and present timeline. Last time, we saw what happened at the end of Namek, as well as what happened when everyone got back on Earth. Instead of going through the present timeline, we actually cover the future timeline. And now we'll see the two of them converge. The future warriors were in a pretty sticky situation, but there may actually be a way out of it. The only issue is, they can't really face off against the androids right now. For this part, let's hit a like goal of 3,000 likes. Once we hit that, I'll continue with another part to this series. Anyways, let's pick up from here. Gohan, Krillin, and Cargo continue their training. Gohan's aiming to get the wrathful form for himself, but it's a bit tough. Krillin believes he can do it though. As long as they keep training, they should have enough strength to get away with getting a Dragon Ball. After a few months of training, Gohan's actually able to access it. Not to mention, Krillin and Cargo are a lot stronger too. They can't fight the androids right now, but this power makes them confident enough to go and find a Dragon Ball. So, the three of them head out looking for it. They have a Dragon Radar after all, so it shouldn't be too tough. They're actually able to do this pretty peacefully. There's no issues this time. They don't encounter the androids, and they find the Dragon Ball that they needed. It's almost too quiet in a way. But it should be fine. They head back to their base ready to spread the good news. But as they get closer to the hideout, they notice something's wrong. The ground nearby is shaking, and in the distance, they hear explosions. They rush over to their base, and there they see what's happening. The entire building is destroyed, and they see a small barrier nearby. Dende, Bulma, and Trunks are left behind, and the androids were able to find them. They've actually been watching for a while, waiting for a good moment to strike, and they're glad to see Gohan, Krillin, and Cargo have returned. Dende struggles to keep a barrier up to protect Bulma and Trunks, but with a single beam, Android 17 launches an attack that goes right through the barrier, hitting Dende directly. They go for Bulma and Trunks next, but the three fighters intervene, trying to do whatever they can. Trying to keep a low profile, Cargo hands the Dragon Ball over to Bulma, telling her to escape with Trunks. Right now the three are on the defensive, with Gohan using his wrathful form, but even with this, it's not enough. One of the androids alone is more than enough to take out all three of them, but the androids are willing to make this fun and try and play a game, prolonging the death of these three fighters. Injured, Dende's laying on the ground, and telepathically he tells Cargo to come over to him. He doesn't think he's gonna make it, and he apologizes to his brother, but he has a better idea. Gohan and Krillin try and fend off the androids, trying to distract them in any way possible. They then notice a huge surge in power as Cargo jumps back in the fight, looking both serious and sad. He's actually way stronger than either of them now. Dende was hoping this could defeat the androids. On his deathbed, he decided to fuse into Cargo. It does give a nice power boost, but it's only enough to help hold the androids off for now. It becomes apparent to the three of them that there's no way out of this. Likely, they're all gonna die. But Krillin thinks there's another way out. He tells Gohan and Cargo to leave immediately. He's got a plan that may save them. He tells them not to argue about it either. Just do what he says because it's their only hope at surviving. They're wondering what he means, but then Krillin launches a solar flare. He tells them now's their chance. As the three of them all fly away, the androids' visions start to clear up, and although those three fighters got a head start, they have a relative idea of where the fighters went off to, at least the general direction. Krillin was hoping this wouldn't happen, but he looks back and sees the androids following them. He tells Gohan and Cargo to continue flying as he then flies backwards toward the androids. The two cyborgs see him, and once again, Krillin blinds the two of them. Gohan and Cargo continue flying, wondering what Krillin's doing and hoping he's okay. But they begin to sense him fighting. Krillin is risking his life fending off the androids so the two others can escape. There is no other way out of this. And he knows the two other fighters are much stronger than him. If they die, then Earth has no chance at all. But Krillin can prevent that. Gohan and Cargo continue flying, thankfully being able to locate Bulma. They raid around, hoping that Krillin will show up soon. Minutes pass, then hours. There's no sign of him at all. Gohan and Cargo try to sense his energy, but they can't. They already lost Dende today, and Gohan hopes that they didn't lose Krillin too. He waits, and in the dead of night, he goes over to where the fight happened. He keeps a low profile, and luckily the androids are long gone, but his fears are confirmed as he arrives in the area. Nearby, he sees someone laying on the ground. It's Krillin. Far away, back where Bulma and Cargo are, Cargo senses a huge surge in power somewhere, then realizing that it's Gohan. While they can't sense anything, the androids feel something from far away. The ground begins shaking and then it suddenly stops. They brush it off as a random earthquake or something. Cargo flies over to where Gohan is, and then he sees what happened. Standing there with Krillin's body in his arms, Gohan is there crying, now with golden hair. Gohan has access Super Saiyan. Some time passes from here on out. With Dende now gone, there's no Dragon Balls at all. Cargo tries to see if he can create some for himself, but he doesn't have the powers. Luckily, he learns that he did inherit something from Dende, the power to heal. Of course, it takes some of his energy to do it, but it's still useful, especially now that they're training Trunks. Cargo has grown up by now, at least in terms of Namekian standards, as has Gohan. A few years have gone by since Krillin died. Gohan was able to access that power once more, Not knowing exactly what it was, but knowing that it would be useful for him. He can now transform at will, and he assumes it's some Saiyan trait. So his big goal right now is to try and get Trunks to do it as well. But still, after all these years, they can't find a way to defeat the androids. But luckily, all this time has given them something else. Bulma was finally able to finish her time machine, and as a last shot, she can send people back in time to try and reverse everything. They give Goku the heart virus medicine and warn everyone of the androids. Trunks wants to go with them too, but they decide that it's better that he doesn't. This is a few years earlier than Trunks originally left. They want him to stay safe, but also, staying back will protect his identity. They want to make sure no one finds out about him, because if they do, Trunks may not be born in the past timeline. But once they return after the fact, Trunks can come with them then. Gohan and Cargo go in the time machine, and they head back to the past. They don't know exactly who to go to, but nearby they send someone that should be perfect for the job. In a wasteland, they find Piccolo training with Cargo. Piccolo's confused to see these two visitors. He's never seen them before, but something looks really familiar about them. Not only does future Gohan have an outfit like Goku's, but his tail is there too. He wasn't aware of another Saiyan being here, but he gets a better look at their faces and then sees. The man kinda looks like Goku. Oh great, does Goku have another brother that they didn't know about? But they introduce themselves, Gohan and Cargo. Piccolo immediately communicates with everyone telepathically, telling them to get over here right now. It's pretty fun for the two future warriors actually. They get to meet their past selves, and they get to see the people that died before. Gohan's glad to see Goku once more, and Cargo's glad to see Dende and Piccolo. However, they can't focus on reunions. They need to warn everyone about the androids and give Goku his medicine. But there's one other thing that Gohan needs to show off, Super Saiyan. He transforms, and he tells them that he doesn't exactly know what this is, but it seems like some sort of Saiyan form. Maybe the next step beyond Wrathful. He's been trying to see if he can combine the two somehow, but hasn't really found a way yet. Although, this golden hair form seems much more stable, not to mention much stronger. Vegeta immediately has the perfect theory. This might be Super Saiyan. And as a test, Goku decides to fight against Gohan. He transforms into Wrathful, and the two begin dueling. Gohan has a clear advantage. Goku even goes into Kaioken, but even with that, Gohan seems to be a bit stronger. He wins the sparring match, and the two power down. Goku's proud to see Gohan like this, and President Gohan seems to have a new goal for himself. Piccolo is also proud to see his student, although they're saddened to hear the news about everyone dying. They come to learn that the only people that survived were Cargo, Gohan, and Bulma, with Dende then fusing into Cargo with no other option. To cause all that damage, the androids must have been pretty strong, so they don't take this warning lightly. In 3 years, the time travelers will all return. But for now, everyone in the past needs to train themselves, trying to get Super Saiyan for the Saiyans, while everyone else has to get stronger in their own way. The two depart, wishing everyone luck. Immediately, the Saiyans have a clear goal for themselves. Goku and Vegeta want to try and pursue Super Saiyan, as well as trying to get Gohan to do it as well. But first, they want to see if he can get Wrathful. He still hasn't gotten it yet, and according to future Gohan, it was pretty potent for him. After some training, Gohan in this timeline is able to access it too, and they figure out what future Gohan was talking about. At first, he's pretty uncontrollable, but we've seen how strong Gohan gets with the Rage Boost. Combine that with Wrathful, and he'll be pretty powerful. The form seems way more potent for him than it does for even Goku and Vegeta. And while they are focused on Super Saiyan, they're not going to forget about Wrathful. They have plans for it going forward. Eventually, after some training, Goku's the first one to get Super Saiyan. And not long after, Vegeta follows too, training himself though. Gohan eventually gets it towards the end of the 3 years. And while they are content with Super Saiyan and realize its power, they feel that they could do better. Maybe there's even a power above this. Although, each of them has different ideas of what to do. Goku decides he wants to try and perfect Super Saiyan, wondering if he can improve the stamina and the power of it. Vegeta on the other hand is focused on Wrathful. Maybe he could try and do what future Gohan was doing, seeing if there was a way to combine the two forms. After testing them both out, he realized that the two powers are separate. So maybe if he's lucky, he could find a way to use the two of them at once. They keep these ideas in mind, and as for the other fighters, they see some great gains from training too. Piccolo trains with the other humans as well as Cargo, and while they may not be as strong as the Saiyans, everyone can make up for it in terms of technique. But nonetheless, they all see some great gains, and eventually the 3 years pass. The arc starts pretty normally. 2 androids attack one of the cities, with all the fighters going over there to see what's happening. They find androids 19 and 20. And someone forgot to take his meds. Goku falls ill to the heart virus. They're able to get him out of there, as Vegeta and Gohan decide to take charge against the androids. It appears the two of them can absorb energy, and the two Saiyans are sure to keep that in mind. Vegeta goes Super Saiyan and goes up against 19, while Gohan takes charge against 20. 20 seems like a threatening enemy, and this is one of the first few real fights for Gohan. Sure, he's been involved in battle before, but this is purely one-on-one between them. Jiro's actually kinda scared. They don't have any data on Super Saiyans. Although he's not deterred. Gohan's just a kid, he can't be that strong. And it turns out he is. Gohan's able to beat 20 in a fight. And simultaneously, Vegeta kills Android 19. This explosion distracts Gohan. He turns around as Gero stretches his arm out to try and take some energy from him, but before he's able to grab Gohan, Gohan kicks him, breaking 20's arm so he can't steal any energy. What Vegeta did is smart and he's going to take notes. He destroys Android 20's other arm as well, and is then able to defeat him. Everyone's pretty surprised. Those were the two androids that they were warned about? I mean, clearly everyone was training for them, but they didn't realize they were that strong. Or on the flip side, they didn't realize that the androids were that weak. Well, it seems like they can calm down now. Goku may have the heart virus, but he'll heal soon enough. For now, everyone heads back home. Not long after this though, the future warriors arrive in the past. This time, Trunks comes along too. They look around and they can't sense any of the fighters. But they also don't see any chaos happening either. The city they go to is partially destroyed, but there's no androids in sight. So they're pretty confused right now. With no other ideas of what to do, they decide to head over to Capsule Corp to get some answers. They're able to find Vegeta and Bulma there, and thankfully they find out that Trunks was born here, as well as Vegeta and Bulma finding out that Trunks exists in the future. But that's besides the point. The future warriors want to make sure that everything is okay. Vegeta chuckles. He and Gohan killed two of the androids. They were pretty simple to kill. The three warriors are really glad to hear that, although it's kind of saddening because nothing changed in their timeline, meaning the two must be separate. It's a shame, but they'll have to find another way to defeat the androids. Vegeta makes a passing comment though, giving them a perfect way to get around the energy absorption. The three of them are pretty confused. They don't know what Vegeta's talking about. Energy absorption? Vegeta wonders why they don't know about it either. And after some explaining, they quickly come to realize the two androids here weren't the same ones from their timeline. Immediately the group gets back together, trying to figure out what happened. Future Gohan, Cargo, and Trunks are glad to see that everyone's stronger, but they're still not sure about 17 and 18. Gohan notes that the one that he killed was trying to escape. He was an old man and he was commanding the other android. After some brainstorming, everyone figures out that that may have been the guy that made the androids. Surely they have no proof yet, but it seemed like he was trying to escape to start some plan that he had. After Gohan describes him more, Bulma was able to find out that this is Dr. Gero, and maybe they can get some more answers if they find his lab. They start searching. At first, they don't really have any luck, and it doesn't seem too pressing at the moment. The future warriors realize that maybe the androids weren't activated here yet, and the two that they killed were responsible for it. So even if they don't find the lab right away, they should be fine, right? At least that's what they assume. They don't know that there's something else lurking about. There is another android that goes unaccounted for. Since they don't really think that there's any urgency to the situation, the search for Gero's lab isn't top priority. Instead, trying to train the future warriors is. Even though they may have not altered their timeline, maybe they can train here and try and get stronger that way. But also on their downtime, everyone can try and find the lab and get some answers. Maybe if they do find the lab, they can find another way to defeat the androids without using pure power. But in this perceived period of peacetime, some odd news appears on TV. Apparently, in some towns across the world, people are disappearing randomly. Nothing is left behind besides their clothes. And there's no explanation to these creepy disappearances. No one really knows what to make of it, but they realize they may be under attack by something else. They're not sure how else to explain all these disappearances. Of course, the creature I'm referring to is Cell. Cell still is here in this timeline. Having arrived from another timeline, he's looking for the androids just like everyone else, but surprisingly, he can't find them anywhere. Just like them, he's kinda left in the dark about the whole situation. After seeing the destruction in that one city, and finding the remains of 20 and 19, he assumes that the other androids are probably activated as well. But of course, they haven't been activated. He's just been looking around for different powers to find. In the meantime, he could try and absorb people to get some more energy. But he's slowly growing more and more impatient. He was hoping that maybe the other people would try and fight them, and during those fights they'd give up enough ki for him to sense so he could find the androids that way. But there's been no fight so far. He can't find the androids anywhere. But as this time passes, he starts to get a creeping suspicion. Maybe the androids actually weren't activated yet. Surely he could have gone straight for the lab right away. He knows where it is and it wouldn't be hard. But in the moment he didn't realize that they may actually be there, in the most obvious spot. And that would also explain why he senses the fighters swarming around that general area. Maybe they're looking for the lab because the androids are actually still there. He can't believe he's been so stupid. All he has to do is head over there, and he'll finally achieve perfection. Chuckling, Cell then rushes over to the lab, and this is where we'll leave off for now. So, what did you guys think about this part? Do you think Cell will be able to beat everyone to the lab, and will he achieve his perfection before they get there? Also, how will the future androids be defeated? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we can get another part of this series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon to get notified about any future parts of this what if, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.